Undo, undo, okay. It works, okay. So we tested the microphones.
Does mine work? Yes.
Yeah, don't stress, folks. This is not the official start. You can still sip your coffee, you can still chew whatever you're chewing, okay. Yes, we just wanted to test the microphones, and now maybe let's test the audience, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. Do we have audience in the room? Yeah, there's audience in the room. Nice.
Oh, they're nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Marit, maybe let's not restart the IDE. Sorry, dismiss. Yeah. We'll ask you a few questions to get familiar with each other. Okay. The question number 1: when was the last time you folks saw a meme show run from IDE? Ha!
Never.
Yeah. So if
nice. What?
Yeah. Yesterday?
Go away,
not true,
Brian.
because it's the first time we show it. So we got you. Yeah. So expect more stuff to be seen.
If you're not enjoying these memes, you might be in the wrong talk.
Yeah.
Just giving you fair warning. We don't want to waste your time. If you're not enjoying the memes,
yeah.
we won't hold it against you.
Yeah, and as you might have figured out, this talk is going to be given in English, right? Désolé.
Désolé, je ne parle pas français.
Yes, let's maybe get to the painful stuff, okay? Let's not play politicians, but let's do some voting, okay? So
they were comfortable raising their hands, so I think we should be good. Yes.
Cool. So who's on Java 26? Not a single soul? This is good and bad. I mean, good because you're obviously in the right room. But bad because we were hoping to get some support. Okay, 25?
25?
In production? Some hands went down. Okay, yeah, okay. What was then?
21?
Nice. Okay, cool.
17?
17?
Okay.
Older
than 17, 11?
11? Okay. Who's working for the bank? 8?
8? Are you serious with the 6? Is it the 6, 7?
Let's okay, we never did that, but let's ask. 6 or 7? Nobody.
Okay, who started on 2? No.
Yeah.
Don't forget to take your pain medication for your back. Anyway.
Yeah. And make a colonoscopy appointment. Yes. Just a few more. Okay.
TMI, dude.
Who here is a Java developer? Okay, keep your hands raised. Who's a developer or not Java? Okay.
Anyone who's not a developer?
We have managers. In the room. Shoot, we'll have to behave. Okay.
Can we? I don't know if we can.
I don't know. We should. Yeah. So this is it, right? It's gonna be like this. Are the memes rolling? I don't know.
They are.
They are.
Just
cool.
Slowly.
So
we want to give them the time to read them.
Yeah. So we'll shut up now, I guess, and we'll let you enjoy the. Oh, there's a squirrel.
Sometimes there are squirrels.
Well, actually,
pretty much every conversation I have with this guy, there are squirrels.
Yeah. Well, actually, I created or vibe coded, shall I say, this little HTML file, this slideshow, right? And maybe I shall publish this GitHub repo. I don't know.
Yes, I think we should.
Yeah.
We'll add it to the website as well.
Yeah,
the links.
so it's already open sourced. I mean, licensed as open source. It's not only like published. So I will hit the publish button.
You'll hit publish, and I'll add the link. We'll share a link to with a QR code all the way at the end, which will have the links to everything, and we'll add that link as well.
But please remind me to keep some private branches. Not all memes shall be shared.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking about the memes, we're happy that we made it here from Cologne in Germany. And it makes our life so much easier because here we can show actually the memes, right? In Germany we couldn't.
Because of copyright laws, we were not allowed to use
the
the
must
memes.
be preserved, right?
Ja, Ordnung muss sein. And so we had to basically put Boromir or Disaster Girl, the girl looking at the fire, you know? Oh, sorry, spoilers. Yeah. But anyway.
I think we shall shut up now and let the lovely people run
and they can run their Devoxx intro at some point.
Yes.
And still 1 minute? Well, then you have more memes. And scroll.
Does it work?
Does the clicker work?
Yeah, it seems to, and it doesn't at the same time. I mean, this application is giving me such a hard time. Okay.
Did you know you can play video games inside IntelliJ as well? If you want to catch bugs. It's a plugin.
Are you by any chance advertising Anton's talk?
I'm not. This is the plugin was made by Alexander Chatzis-Zacharias. I don't know if you've seen his using IntelliJ IDEA as a game engine talk. Yeah. If not, you should check that out.
He goes by the nickname Alex Yada Yada Yada.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a true story.
Are you allowed to make this joke as a Docker captain, or?
Let's close the meme shop. Let's close the meme shop.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing says we're on. So
yes. So welcome to the talk, Learning Modern Java the Playful Way. I brought with me from Poland Piotr Przybył.
Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry. And
yes, and also there's Marit and Dijk. As you can see, we work for companies, right? JetBrains, Elastic, all the socials and formal titles are here. What's I think the most important thing is like in the middle, and maybe you can see it on our chests, right? We are Java champions, but also spoiler alerts. We are friends. So when we make jokes, right? It's like
all in good fun.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Cool.
So we covered a little bit who you are, Java developers, what Java versions you are using. You might recognize some of you yourself in this meme.
Yeah. Hopefully rather sooner than later. But,
yes.
That remains to be seen.
But we understand that, some of you were still on 11, 17. No one was on 26 yet. And we understand that it might be difficult to upgrade your Java versions. There might not be time. You might not be allowed. And we understand that it can be work as well. So I work at JetBrains. We create IntelliJ IDEA. We strive to support, we always have support from day one for the latest release, Java releases, and we strive to support the preview features as well. But that's actually work for us to make sure that you can use it in your IDE.
Yeah, and I work for Elastic, and I see just Sylvain joined the room, right? And so you can ask us, people from Elastic, what does it mean when in Java you don't have security manager out of the sudden, and your software depends on this, right? I see the pain in your eyes, yes. So we know that keeping up to date with modern Java is actually pain, right? So we try to find a playful way around it, basically. Yes. What's next thingy?
Yeah. So to share the agenda, we'll look at several features from recent Java versions. But given we have only 45 minutes, not all of them, obviously.
Yeah, if you'd like us to talk more, you would need to ask us to submit for deep dive. I don't know about that, but we may try. And this the other thing, which is demos, right? Yeah. Because we believe it's the best way to learn stuff is actually like the children do, right? So just play, tinker with stuff, and let's see what happens.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So what do you see here?
A wall of text. Yes, exactly.
Two small letters, right?
And you're not supposed. And you're not supposed to read it because this whole talk is about like bringing some of them this up to speed, right? So of course, in Java 26, we have more Project Amber, right? The Loom is maturing, and there are things from Panama and Vector API in progress, and there's a groundwork for Project Laden, so faster startup and so on. There's better security and so on. But please keep in mind, Java is released every 6 months. So for example, the previous one, Java 25, was a really beefy one, right? And it has changes to performance, right? Better garbage collectors, smaller headers. There were these concurrency goodies, right? Project Loom and friends. There's better observability in profiling, extensions to JFR. There's great stuff for prototyping, and newbies will be covering some of this today. And there was, of course, more, right? So as you can see, we're not able to squeeze everything, right, from just these 2 versions in 45 minutes. Désolé, right? And there's this thing, right? One does not simply teach Java programming, right? Because Java is first of all, it's dying. It's of course slow. It's verbose, right? Yeah, and all this.
We definitely don't have time for that.
Yeah,
rant.
and
Thanks.
nonsense, and all this nonsense, and so on. And actually, with my children, with my son, I prove that false. Do you recognize this language? What language that is in this slide? Java, okay.
Good so. Good.
Feel free to get the stickers. By the way, we brought stickers. They're here in the first room, right? Yeah, I have some extra swag for extra active people. Yeah, this is Java. This is Java 25, right? Onwards. Yeah, and this is this other language which people say maybe this is the better language for you to start programming with or teach programming, right?
Because it's less verbose, right? Yeah.
Apparently, if you want this to be the entry point, you have to toss these 2 lines. So then it's actually longer than Java, even if you take the semicolons into account, okay? So see, maybe Java is the language to start, right? And what your grandparents were taught about Java like 30 years ago is no longer true. Okay.
Who knows? Yeah. So that's part of compact source files and instance main methods, which was released in Java 25, which also includes some new I/O methods. And as you can see, it's a lot shorter. So there's no more public static void main.
Marit is really badly impacted by this. She saw a tweet once that actually you can sing public static void main to a number of songs, right? Could you demonstrate?
Yes, so you can sing public static void main to Everybody Dance Now. Public static void main.
Right.
So, and I can't stop doing it. Oh, you're too kind.
Yeah. So as you can see, no more songs, or at least you choose. You have to choose
different songs for void main, but that's also a different talk.
Yeah. But there's this other thing, right? See, now Java, if you really like, let's not get into politics, but it can also become classless. Okay, if you want to just have its prototype, this class will be created for you implicitly, and that solves us one of the 2 big problems in IT. Do you know what are the 2 biggest problems in IT?
Naming things, cache invalidation,
and off by one
errors. Thank you.
Yes, I'll give you some extra swag. Okay, approach me after this. And yeah, and to have this, now we have to toss this I/O. I think it's good. We could go for static import, but I think saying explicitly it's I/O, it's actually good.
Yep.
There'll be more about this.
Demo time.
Sometimes friends demos explode, and we saw it like what 3 times giving this talk already.
Very first time the demo failed, and
so we don't have this for everyone. I'm sorry, but for ourselves, in case something blows, at least we have the minimum protection.
Yeah, we didn't bring safety goggles. Maybe we need safety goggles.
It's not that bad.
No,
Come on.
no, not that
Come
bad.
on. It used to work on your machine just like, I don't know, 15 minutes ago. Yeah. So
let's hope it continues.
Yeah. So let's go and switch for the demo. Sorry, I'm looking for my pens.
I need my pen. I forgot my pen.
Yeah,
Do you have an extra one?
But if you only if you're comfortable with okay, let me share. So you have this one. I have. You're not a lunatic scientist without a pen. We're not doctors. We're just like crazy lab people. Okay.
Yes. So let's start with the demo, and I'll explain a little bit of the code that we're going to look at. We prepared some code that is like Java 8.11ish, and then we'll update it with some new features. By playing with the code. Emphatic nodding. Thank you, sir.
Keyword is NDA, so we couldn't use use anything like
So
real. But
we built our own. So let's pretend we're a web shop and we sell images that people might use for their slideshows or web shop or whatever. Then our customers would have to be able to search for those images. So we used some royalty-free images. And we will use a multimodal encoder, which is a thing that can encode different types of input, in our example, images and text, and use that multimodal encoder to generate vector embeddings. And to prepare for our demo, we have already indexed those images and file names using the multimodal encoder, say that 10 times fast, to generate the vector embeddings. And we will store these vector embeddings and the file names in Elasticsearch, you know, for search.
thank you.
You're welcome. And do you want to show them what that looks like in Kibana, actually?
Yes, let me show you. So Kibana is the web
Interpretive
user
Gent.
interface to access, to manage your data inside Elasticsearch. So you go to localhost in Germany, localhost, right, 5601. If you want to run it on your machine, just Google Elastic Start Local. It's like just requires Docker Podman, really simple stuff. And we have just a a shy number, but because it's all just these 12 images, but we can view them in Discover. And what matters here in these documents, you see, we have these embeddings. So basically, roughly speaking, oversimplified, this is 1,000. Floating point numbers. So I fitted these images to multimodal encoder, as Marit said, Gina, right? Gina is now part of Elastic, and you get then these numbers which represent what's in this image. We also, what's important for this demo, store the file name, right?
Exactly, and the idea is that if you then encode, let me go back to the slides.
Yep.
So if our customers search for an image, we encode that search term or query using the multimodal encoder, and the idea is that that vector embedding would be close to an image or text that it is similar to. So then we will use hybrid search, meaning different means of search, different ways of searching. Classic search by text or vector search, so using the vector embeddings. And then combining those results using RRF.
Yes.
Meaning?
I didn't look up for French translation. I'm really sorry. The most important part is to decipher this acronym. Okay, it stands for reciprocal rank fusion, and it's a really simple algorithm. Basically, Formula One. You know Formula One, okay? In theory, you don't have to win a single race and still win the whole season, right? It just matters that if every race you end up in a high position, and then when the results are combined, you may even win the whole season, the trophy, right? So roughly oversimplified, this is hybrid search or RRF, yes?
Yes. So let's then look at the code.
Yeah, because we have a motto, in code we trust, sorry.
Yeah. So let's make sure that it runs, praying to the demo gods. What should we look for?
Fruit.
Fruit.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
So then obviously we find the image named fruit using the search text, but also we find other images that contain fruit, like apples or plums or whatnot.
Yeah, because the model knows that the plums are fruit, right? Let me not get into the carrot story. We're in France. Okay, next slide.
Yes. So who's on Java 16 and higher and is not using records?
Not using records.
So for the record, you should. Let me show you why. So records are immutable transparent data carriers, and they are very convenient to use for your DTOs, request response, etc.
But not JPA entities, for example.
Yes, for reasons. So let's look for the class that is current. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, the other one.
Search is hard, okay?
I know.
So we have here a class that could be a record, which our IDE kindly tells us, and then we can convert it to a record. And if we look at the comparison, we see that it's actually a lot shorter. So, you know, Java doesn't have to be so verbose anymore. In this case, so also the record will auto-generate your equals and hash code, etc., with the upside being you don't get to create bugs there. So yay. But you can override the methods. So in this case, we override the toString methods so that we don't print the entire how many floating point numbers,
1,000, right?
but
Let's
just
say-
the first
yeah.
and the last one just to print something.
Yeah,
So,
so-
you can override the methods
Yeah,
if you
need
want.
to customize something, think first if you really have to, and if you should, and then if you're positive, then add this customization, right?
Yes, just because you can doesn't mean
Yeah.
you should, exactly. So module imports have been introduced in Java 25 as well. Let me quickly show you that, because
Yes, but
in
please no tariffs. Okay, yeah.
Shush. And so, again, we're friends. I'm allowed, I think. He'll tell me if I'm not. So we have a lot of imports here. But what we can do instead is we can import module Java base. And then if we optimize imports, I always forget the shortcut. I know I should know all the shortcuts, but there are some that I still forget. But now I can use command completion or ... and I don't
Or
have
I.
to. Yes, he calls
Sorry,
it the
it's-
I feature.
I call it the I feature. Who knows Morse code? 2 dots stand for I.
So, anyway.
Sorry, I'm being nerd.
Anyway, every time. Anyway, so you can use Java base, and then you don't need so many imports. If you prefer single class imports, of course, you can switch it back if you want.
Great for prototyping, great for teaching the youngsters, right, or new people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier because you don't actually have to import Java base. And then you're not hunting down all your imports just to do a prototype. So compact source files and instance main methods also comes with a simple I/O, as we mentioned.
Let me ask them the question. Who, when you were studying Java, was suffering with the scanner for reading input?
Yes.
We share your pain.
Sorry.
So
but
let's-
now you don't have to.
Yeah, let's get rid of scanner.
Yay.
See,
So,
yeah.
So we can use IO read line, which is an overloaded method that takes a string. So then we no longer need these lines or this line. Make sure that it still works.
Maybe let's look for orange.
Or maybe you wanted to look for apple and pom.
Orange. Let's look for orange. Yeah.
We're no longer in the Netherlands, you know this, right?
Yeah,
Anyway.
but it found fruit, and you might be wondering why the heck it found fruit, right? Could you please demonstrate?
Yes, because it's orange.
Yeah, that's why you may need
Sorry,
to.
I'm
You
so
see,
sorry.
semantic search works even with images. It can also work with sounds and so on, right? So, like whatever works for you, not just text, right? Okay, let's go back to the slides. Yes.
Stream gatherers, which you can talk about for at least an hour because you have.
Yes.
Can you please explain it to them briefly this time?
I can try. Yes. Stream gatherers. It's a feature coming from Java 24. I mean, we're developers, right? Who is a developer that has to shovel data from one pile to another? Exactly, like most of us, right? So in Java, when you have data-driven flow, you can actually use these streams, right? And the problem with streams is, like, if you're not happy what's in there with the map or predicate or flat map or filter, right? Basically, you're screwed. So now there is a new intermediate method called gather, right? And basically, inside that, you can toss whatever intermediate operation you want. So in theory, we would just need gather to implement the predicate, flat map, filter, and so on, okay? So these are custom intermediate operations. You can run them into objects, share, put into library, and so on. There's a lot of stuff about this.
Including yours.
Including mine. And I'd like to show you a gem. I even have an entry on my blog, but like I'd like to demonstrate you this live. I basically think it's undersold, underpromoted feature from Java 24. Yeah, so let's look at this method. Thank you for opening for me. And who can tell me what this method does? In 3, 2, 1. Exactly. Yeah. So that's the point, right? Let me
We could have asked AI, maybe.
Yeah, but let's play it old-fashioned. Okay. Let me show. Where is it? Show history for selection. So it used to look like this, and for a moment, let me copy this back and paste it here. Right. And if you have been using streams from Java 8, you know that parallel stream is not okay in your critical flow because reasons, right? So we had to go for these completable futures to work around these problems with parallel stream, and now we can try different approach. So instead of parallel stream, let me go here for gather, nice, and here let me go for gatherers. Oh, sugar, I can't type.
That's my line.
Yes, sorry. So I'm using this gem, which is under-promoted in my opinion, which is map concurrent from gatherers, right? It's standard library now. I am telling it use up to 5 virtual thread workers under the hood, and then run this mapper concurrently. See, I didn't change the mapping operation itself, and maybe, like, let's say we're tired with typing, let's go for this thing, right, and just go for these predefined queries.
So we don't have to type the query every time?
Yeah, maybe let's say, let's customize it. Let's localize it. Instead of basket, let me here go for, POM.
POM?
Yeah, and so we have orange, apple, POM, Heckscheibenwaschanlage, and computer.
Bless you.
Thank you. So who here speaks German?
Bissle.
Okay, and bisschen, okay. So we'll explain to you. Car, rear window. You pull the lever by the steering wheel, and there's this sprinkler device that puts the fluid, and then the washer goes and washes your... So it's like Heckscheibenwaschanlage. Yeah? Easy.
Bless you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Or
So let's...
À tes souhaits?
Tu parles français? Mon Dieu.
Petit peu.
Okay, let's run it and let's see what it gives us. Yeah, and see, it still works the same, right? I still get the results. So for Heckscheibenwaschanlage, I got the irrigation. Can I quickly show the irrigation?
Yeah, sure.
Irrigation. See, because it even understands German, right? This multimodal. See, this is the closest thing it can get us.
And it has a Fiat, so it also has a car in there.
Yeah, there's also like water sprinkler, and then there's Fiat 500, but this we say for Italy. You might be wondering also, and this is like joy in my heart because this works perfectly in France, right? So you see when we're searching for apple, it gives me apple, apples, and apple here. But here for POM, I don't get this other apple because
Why?
this one is a computer. Right? So it matches the lexical search, but doesn't match the semantic search. So see, this is like the beauty of this, not only multimodal, but multilingual languages. So here, especially in Europe, right, we cherish all our languages, and I think it's beautiful and should stay like this. Yeah, so we have this working. See, now we go for map concurrent, and now the question would be, the last question, when you look at this, and I ask you, what does it do with 3, 2, 1? I guess you just take a look at this map concurrent and you already like see, so it's just mapping concurrently with virtual threads under the hood and so on, right? Way easier. See, we still do the same, but in a simpler way. That's why we should migrate Java.
Yes, much easier to understand.
Yeah.
Reading code is important. Anyway, I can talk about that for an hour.
Some features we'll be showing right now are so-called preview features, right? So to enable them, you have to run them with --enable -preview, just for the record.
Yes, so one of those is that we'll look at is structured concurrency, which is in preview in Java 26, and will be probably in preview again in Java 27.
For sure.
With some changes. So it offers us better idioms for multi-threaded code, which actually reflect the synchronous way of thinking, as we will see in the demo, and will help eliminate thread leaks and cancellation delays.
Fromage.
Fromage.
Merci.
And so, as you remember, we're using hybrid search, which means that we're firing off multiple tasks simultaneously using a classic search and vector search, and then waiting for them to complete and combining the results. So if you have this pattern in your code, that would be a good candidate to try with structured concurrency. Obviously, we have this pattern in our code. Do you want to quickly explain to them what's going on here?
Let me do that with pleasure. So we do that here in Java core because it's like I decided let's go for the open source / free version of Elasticsearch here. That's why it's implemented here in Java. And we have this execute search, right? So we have one completable feature that's taking care of the vector search. We have the other completable feature that's taking care of this classic lexical search, right? Here we are combining the results, but the most important or unseen part is this thing, right? It's what like unexperienced junior developers forget, and poor AI agents as well, right? So it's this thing. we have a contract in our case, in our demo, that when we fire two concurrent search mechanisms and one fails, we say the other, don't bother, like party's over, right? And this is the cancellation. So when one fails, tells the other, right? And with the other fails, tells the first one, right? So with two features, we have two cancellations. Do we have bank people in the room?
I think we did.
Yeah, okay. So with 3 futures, how many cancellations do I have? 6. See, that's so difficult. And with 4 futures, basically what you can do is Macarena.
Yeah,
right?
so anyway, so I think we could
fix it.
Yes, let's fix it. Thanks.
Sorry
also,
for playing
there will
manager,
be interpretive
but,
dance in this presentation. Anyway, so
So
we can use the live template to quickly scaffold our structured task scope.
yeah, so maybe you do, and I'll like entertain them with my poor voice. Okay. So what you can see here is like we have to create scope. The scope closes us with try with resources, and what Marit is now doing. See, in this concurrent scope, we can fire as many subtasks as we want, right? Using this fork method, and then basically we have to put the we'll just use these lambdas. So for one search, the other search, and then you have to use also the join method, because if you don't, the compiler will yell at you, so don't worry, you won't forget this. And then after they are done, we can combine the results and basically return them. Yeah, so this is a nice thing, because you can't fork on this scope outside this try with resources, for example, and normally you can just send the future away, so your threads can leak, for example, right? Marit is using list of instead of arrays of lists.
Because it's nicer.
Yeah.
And tell me that you don't have this in your code to do handle exception.
Yeah.
Please?
Okay.
Okay.
So you fix
because
it
so
and
we
ask
want
him.
to
I ask
quickly...
him. Yeah. Have you seen a code, or do you have in your code base this comment in catch like will never happen? If you see this on my behalf, you're free to put the system exit 1. It will never happen, come on.
And now we get to the favorite part of the demo. I get to delete this code. All the way here. Bye-bye. So doesn't this read much clearer? It actually expresses that we are forking 2 tasks, waiting for them to join, combining the result, and handling the exceptions.
Exactly. Now the intent that we have subtasks, right, is seen also in code and guarded by the compiler, right? Compiler is not our enemy, it's our friend, right? We pair program with compiler, right? In Java, at least.
Yes,
let's
just quickly making sure that it still works. It does.
Yes,
cool.
It does.
So isn't that much better? That's a rhetorical question, but you're free to agree.
Yeah, so whenever you see this pattern that you divide your task into subtasks, and even when you have different success criteria, let's say you call caches, right?
Exactly. If you're calling caches and you're okay with only one of them succeeding, you can configure it to use a different method. So you can use different joiners to specify I want all of them to succeed, and otherwise, if one of them fails, cancel them, or it's okay if only one of them succeeds and then cancel the rest.
Yeah, for some weird reason, this clicker doesn't work. Oh, okay, maybe it does. Yeah, so see, this is like I'm using the default await all successful throw, but we can change, we can use different criteria. We can also configure this, right? We can give it a name, we can change the timeout, we can set the thread factory. By default, this works using virtual threads, but maybe you want good old classic search, right? And so on. The joiner will undergo some enhancements in Java 27, right? So the thing is still evolving, still being improved. But the general concept, I would say, stays at least for now.
Yeah, and it's a good time to play around with it, I think.
Yeah.
So, like our good friend Dr. Venkat likes to say, a completable future has no future, and we agree.
Yeah.
So one more feature we want to show you is lazy constants, which are immutable, thread safe, and lazily evaluated. They're preview in Java 26 as well. They used to be stable values in Java 25. So what that means is that normally if you want a final field you have to declare that, and it will be eagerly evaluated. So when you instantiate your class, it will be instantiated as well. Now with lazy constants, they will be lazily evaluated, so on demand. So we could change our object mapper and HTTP client to a lazy constant. Say that 10 times fast. Anyway, I'll just go with the HTTP client and turn that into a lazy constant of, which takes a supplier. So let me add a lambda here, and then we can use a method reference instead. So now we do have some failing code, as you can see. So when we go there, it's because we have to first get the HTTP client, and that's when it will be instantiated, so on demand. And we could do the same with the, where is it?
Yeah, object mapper.
Object mapper.
Yeah, see, so now, basically, with this, pictures. Thank you. Basically, now it takes the burden from the class loader, right?
We didn't even do a fish. Anyway.
Yeah, we didn't do a fish. Poisson ici. Okay. But now we can like lazily evaluate this and get this done, for example, when the first request hits your microservice, right? So that improves the whole process of deployment. So please go for lazy constants. Don't forget they should be final. If they're not final, it's just pointless, all right?
Yes.
We both clicked, yeah, concurrency
Both
issues.
Concurrency, yeah. So again, what does it mean?
Have you ever been in a situation that someone, instead of reading documentation for, let's say, 15 minutes, spent good 2 days coding because they didn't read freaking manual? That's the thing, right? So I was like, play it old-fashioned. Now we suddenly write documentation because AI agents need this, right? But like I was like, read the documentation, read the manual. And now it's better and easier to do that since Java 23 because who knows Markdown? Exactly. And HTML is so 1990s, right? So there's this JEP. And how basically it looks like is just we have this Markdown. Isn't that your blog post?
That's Malas.
Okay, Malas. Let's show them the actual thing.
Yep.
Yeah, see, so you can have now the comment written in Markdown. So we just start with three slashes, yes. And it's beautiful, it's easy, it doesn't work. Let me just use the mouse. See, I can just do the inline code, right, using backticks. I can toss proper links and it's properly generated. It's also handled by Javadoc, right? So the old format stays. But if you want to do it like nicely, modern, right, it's what, 2026, yeah. Now you can go for this Markdown, and now it's easier for you and the AI agents of yours to create such documentation.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't even have to write it yourself. You can have AI do it.
Yeah.
And you can convert your old Javadoc to Markdown, or your IDE can do that for you.
Speaking about old and new, there's this like. It's not only about bumping the dependencies, right? It's also about changing the gears in our mind, like starting to think in a new way. See, like we had with structured concurrency, right? Suddenly we have to handle the same, let's say, business task in a somewhat different name. So now let me show you that it's not just Java, but the whole ecosystem, right? And I'm really proud to show this, especially with this gentleman in the room, right? Because he's partially to blame for this wonderful change. Yeah, sorry. Let me refresh this Maven. And now, so see, it doesn't work. But why? So far, it took you so much ceremony to create Elasticsearch client in Java to connect to your cluster, right? Now let me go for, sorry, I can't type, Elasticsearch client.auth. Okay, we'll have this Lambda builder or whatever it's called. And now we toss config just like we can do for structured concurrency, right? So I'm going to set host, I'm going to set API key. Okay, let me maybe add some enters here. And for the love of Pete, right? Never ever, Brian. Actually, I'm doing your job. Never commit any secrets, right? To your repository. Let me just go and select
or
this.
leak tokens.
Yeah. If you want to know more about poisoning, prompts and so on, go to Brian's talk, of course. And now, see, I can remove all of this. I hope. I have to also like initialize the value. Sorry. Let me go for var, not war, but var, and that should be called es client. Hey, AI is helping me. Very nice. And as you can see,
Much shorter, much clearer.
much shorter, right? Now my favorite shortcut in IDEA, which is Command-Shift-T. I'm navigating to the integration test, and let's just play it real quick. Let's go. How was it? EST. Not EST. Right, and this has it prepared. See, so
We
now,
prepared a live template to save you some typing. Yes.
yeah, I can even toss the. This is integration test using test containers, right? I can even toss a cell context. I can remove all this. How we do that? Yeah, exactly. And even this thing, I believe.
The best
yeah.
part.
See how much code I removed? So it's not only Java evolving, but also the ecosystem. Yeah, was impressive. You've heard that?
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. This is the kudos, right? Please take it to Laura. Yeah,
Yes.
and this is how you make it run. There's I did something stupid and silly because I did. Yeah, of course.
Optimize imports. Dot. Opt.
Yeah, I always
you go.
forget because I go for there's something else, I guess, or like okay, no, it's just this test. Okay, cool. So as you can see, this is the way you can improve stuff, right? Did I forget something?
Nope.
Okay, so let's proceed because
Yes,
we have more.
so one more is pattern matching with primitive types. So this is also in preview in Java 26 and probably after. So we now allow primitive types in all pattern contexts, which means you can use them in instance of and switch with primitive types. So if you have long if-else, 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 if-else statements where previously you couldn't use a switch statement
Because
primitives, now you can, and you can use multiple cases that would lead to the same result. You can use guard clauses, and it will check whether it's exhaustive. So if you don't have the default branch, then it will yell at you. So, know the difference between if statements and switch cases.
you were warned. You were warned.
You were warned with the memes. So, again, what does this slide mean?
Yes, because we had this lovely conversation even like before, and some of you said like, yeah, okay, but I work for a bank. How do I convince? And it doesn't have to be bank; it's just any big organization. We know there's momentum, right? So there are these. I call them. Sorry, I don't want to insult anyone. Gold dragons, the creatures
Basically,
that are so envious about the gold they keep that you need to give them nice shiny machinery in order for them to toss you some gold. So you have budget, half the sprint to bump dependencies and so on, right? So this is the demo. Maybe isn't okay. It's also for all of us, but also for the gold dragons, right?
well, because we've showed you all of the nice idioms and how we as developers can have nice things, but in order to convince the gold dragons that they should allow you to have the nice things, there are other things like Vector API in Project Panama, which is still in incubator, but it will allow things to get faster. We have a different demo for that. Let's run that.
Let's run that.
Make sure that it runs.
It does.
So why is this super fast and this is slow?
Yeah. As you can see, we have two implementations, right? Can I?
Yes,
just
yes, you can touch the mouse.
Yeah, as you can see, we have Scala implementation and vector implementation, and the vector implementation is indefinitely almost fast. It's because there is no implementation, right?
Ah.
If you do nothing, you can be really fast, right?
Except for I'm really, really bad at doing nothing.
So now, okay, the question, Sylvain, maybe not you. Who knows the Panama API by heart? Exactly, right? And now maybe you can use some AI agent of yours, right?
Yeah, because do you know why AI is faster at writing code?
Do you?
Do you? It uses all 12 fingers to type. Anyway, so let's not use this, but
yeah, we have a prompt. We will just ask the AI to vibe code for us some demo to demonstrate if Project Panama can be any good for us. Are we vibe coding using Codex
we're
today?
using code, so we have different agents and different models that we can use. But in the meantime, let's maybe explain to them what it is that we are doing.
Okay, cool. this task, which is like a, recruitment, you have to reverse binary tree or such other nonsense, right? Or they have this task like you have two arrays, let's say array A and array B, and the task is take first two elements from each array, summarize and put in array C, right? So how do you do that? And naively or following our instinct, we just go with a loop, let's say for each loop or something like this, right? So we just fetch them one by one, summarize and store in the result array one by one. The thing is, however, who can tell me what's the size of integer in Java in bits?
32.
Who said 32? Okay, okay, you have enough Elasticsearch. Yeah. Yeah, and let's imagine even for a moderate CPU these days, your register is 128 bytes wide, right? Which means if you're adding or putting just one integer, you're wasting all the other bytes. So the idea is, let's put 4 integers into this register and 4 into this other register, right, from this other array, and then we can run a simple instruction which falls into single instruction multiple data, hence SIMD category, and with single instruction we get the summary of all 4 of them, right? And of course, this won't be 4 times faster because we still need to fetch it from RAM, cache misses and so on. And this CPU instruction takes probably more cycles, but still it's faster. Do we see how faster it is?
Oh, let me, so we have a solution. Let's see how much faster it is. Praying to the demo gods. So interesting. So we actually sometimes get one that is 1.5 times faster for some of them,
and
we get one that is 2 times faster. So let me search. This should use FMA. Use mul in
because Panama API, how it works, Panama project is like it takes this high-level Java, code and translates it into like a proper underlying assembly instructions, sort of. But it still depends, for example, based on your silicon. So here, Marit, it is Apple, right?
Apple M1, yeah.
Apple M1. So it uses different set of instructions than Intel, right? So if I run it on my Linux, for example, we get different results. Can we see how fast is it?
Yes, so
right
it's
now?
using mul now.
Yeah, and
we found this playing with this demo, so playing pays off, and now some of the operations are actually almost 2 times faster.
Yeah, so now you can see, and why did we choose these operations? This is not a random choice. You see vector, so you see dot product, you see addition, and you see Euclidean norm, right? And these are frequently used in Lucene, in Elasticsearch for a vector search, or also for ESQL, right? If you don't know anything about ESQL, Sylvain get a nice talk early today about ESQL, so watch for the recording, right? Yeah, and so Elastic is already benefiting from this. So let's summarize what happened. We didn't change the business need, okay? The requirements are still the same. We didn't obviously change the CPU or anything like this.
It's running on the same hardware as before.
Yeah, but we get, for many of these cases, the results twice as fast, right? Less money, less CO2 for batch processing, shorter times, and so on. So see, it's just begging, use me, right, to make it faster. Can we?
So this is how you convince the gold hoarders to let you use newer stuff.
Yeah, and some tokens.
Yes. So use this API expresses vector computations, but has different performance characteristics on different hardware. Also, you can't do badly at a benchmark if you create your own. This was not an official benchmark.
Yeah, this is not proper benchmark. This is
just us playing around. As you mentioned, Elasticsearch actually uses this. Yeah, so if you run this elastic start local, as I have shown you, right, and you run this command, this is what you will see. So when you run the latest Elasticsearch, you will also see the latest Java under the hood, right? And the reason being is Elasticsearch will run faster for you if you use the latest Java, so it's shipped with it, right? And as you can see, it already enables this incubation module, vector, just to make this vector search and ESQL faster, right? So if you process a lot of data in your banking or whatever applications, maybe you should consider using it too, right? To make it faster. Yeah? Yep, so we played with several features, some of our favorites. We won't read the list. Each new Java version is easier, faster, better.
Scooter.
Every time. And guess what? It's still free, so why not use it?
Right. I mean, if you go for paid support version from certain providers, you have to use paid version, right? Time for a little rant about LTS. In LTS, do you know what S stands for? Support, exactly. So if you don't pay for support, why do you stick to LTS?
Just
you don't get any support anyway.
Yep. So pretty good for a dead language. They'll quickly skip past that slide before Piotr rants because we have like 2 more minutes. As always, please provide us with your feedback. You should have an app. Is the QR code on the badge or something?
It's this Devoxx mobile companion.
So you go to the Devoxx mobile companion. Please, if you like the talk, give us 5 stars. If you want to tell us what you thought about this talk, or if you're watching this on YouTube later, like and subscribe.
And hit the bell button.
Yes, thank you. Then you can use this feedback form to contact us or send us your best dad jokes or whatever.
Leave it on for a few seconds.
A few seconds if someone wants to take a picture. But the next one was actually the most important. Because that's the...
But this one is for feedback, right? And if lovely people want to talk to us, and apparently they do, you can write in French, right? We are good in AI foo, so we'll translate.
Yes. And then if you want to get the slides, previous recordings of this talk, also links to the code base, we'll add also the meme code base on that page. This will take you to the page for this talk.
Yeah.
So if there's one picture you want to take, this would be it. All of my socials are on that page as well. And yours are in the slides, so you can find us if you want to contact us later.
We are not on TikTok, sorry.
Yeah, oh God. We do interpretive dance strictly here on stage.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, dear. So we hope that you were entertained and or learned something today, or preferably both. And with that, merci beaucoup.